In a raise of hand, how many of you guys got at least 8 hours of sleep? Sleep is what we spend a third of our lives doing, but do any of us truly know the effects of sleep deprivation? As a busy student, I have learned that the hard way is to perform hard, the hard way is to perform to your fullest potential without sleep. Today, I'm here to talk about how students need to get more sleep and to have them more rested for their studies. Students and need the suggested amount of sleep to perform to their best potential. A way to get more sleep is by improving your time management skills and following your schedule. Imagine if you had more sleep. First, let's talk about how significant sleep is and how it affects students' mental health and studies. Students need at least the recommended amount of sleep every night. Sleep is very important for development for adolescents. According to Dr. Eric Olson, a sleep medicine specialist at Mayo Clinic, the average adult needs 8 hours of sleep. However, study shows about 50% of students get the recommended amount of sleep. When students get the recommended amount of sleep, their mental health is better. According to a Harvard study, chronic sleep problems affect 50% to 80% of patients in typical psychiatric practices, compared to the 10 to 18% of adults in general United States population. When students get the recommended amount of sleep, their performance in schools and studies improve. According to Alex Chartburn, a cognitive neuroscientist at the University of South Australia and co-author, states that sleep deprivation enhances false memory. Studies shows that sleep is a vital part of memory process and is the majority of the things are stored in long-term memory. Now that we know the importance of sleep and why students need the recommended amount of sleep to perform at their fullest potential, let's look at the ways to improve our sleep schedule. Although stress, shift work, and age-related sleep disturbances are just some of the many factors that can interfere with an individual's ability to obtain the sufficient amount of sleep, there are many rigid effects so they can do to get the sleep they needed. To obtain a sufficient amount of sleep, you can turn your sleeping area into a sleep-induced environment by keeping a consistent sleep schedule. A quiet, cool, dark environment can help induce a good night's sleep. According to American Psychological Association, Grateful Knowledge, Robin Heights, a Virginia-based clinical psychologist, and Paul clinical director of Metropolitan Pulmonary Center of Breathing and Sleep Disorder in Kansas City, exposures to stimulating objects such as light can affect the level of a hormone that regulates your body's internal clock. Dr. Christopher Winter, a medical director at Charlotte Neurology Sleep Medicine, says your bed should be 60 to 67% Fahrenheit for optimal sleep. Temperatures above 75% or below 54 can disrupt sleep. Our internal temperature is usually at as high as in the early afternoon and at the lowest at 5 a.m. When we fall asleep, our bodies naturally cool off. Helping your body to get to a lower temperature faster can encourage deeper sleep. Establishing a soothing pre-sleep routine can help you reach your optimal sleep level. Studies shows physically and psychologically stressful activities can cause the body to secrete stress hormones, cortisol, which is associated with increasing alertness. So doing a less stressful activity before bed will release the serotonin hormone, will put you more in a relaxed state and decrease the cortisol hormone. Lastly, maintaining a regular sleep schedule will help you reach your optimal sleep level. By maintaining the body internal clock, you can help fall asleep and wake up more easily. Imagine how many times you have been in class that was challenging, heavy in lecture, but you couldn't focus because you were so restless. Well, the story of Casey Beisel demonstrates how she has overcome sleep deprivation. The story of Casey Beisel demonstrates how establishing a smooth Pre-sleep routine can help you reach your optimal sleep level. Before coming to St. Mary's, Casey Beisel had a horrible sleep schedule that made her constantly restless until she established a soothing pre-sleep schedule. She knew from the past psychology classes that sleep played a vital role in memory processing and wanted to be sufficient in school. So she made sure that she would get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day so she would reach to her optimal sleep level. Casey Beisel also created a new, better sleeping environment. She made her room pitch dark black before bed, made it cooler, and limited the sounds to her potential. She also made sure that she was doing relaxing activities before bed so she wouldn't be thinking of school. So think how cool it is when a college student can experience the same success as Casey and with the great amounts of sleep and feel revered for all your classes. Even though there are many sleep disturbances, there are easy solutions to minimize those disturbances to reach your optimal sleep level. Majority of students don't get the optimal sleep level due to not establishing a pre-sleep routine. Sleep plays a vital role in our mental health and memory processing. Hence, students need to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep to perform at their optimal level at academics. This is demonstrated through Casey Beisel's story and how she overcomes sleep deprivation. Students need to establish a pre-sleep routine that helps them reach their optimal sleep level by 7 to 8 hours. Like the Dalai Lama said, sleep is the best form of meditation.